Good morning, Asia, Philippines. Good afternoon, good evening, America. There's just so many time zones happening here. So, welcome to our Miss Energy Fireside Chat. I am Ria Rodriguez Richardson, and our aim today is to turn your good to great to unstoppable. And what a great way to demonstrate that when there's a perfect blend between sales teams and product teams, and they form as true allies in the business and in the corporate. So, to put everyone on the same page, when product managers collaborate with sales, they create better products. And you know what? Your sellers or your sales force outside, they bring the real honest feedback to product managers so that you can create your products very well. And aside from that, product managers are keeping up with so many deadlines, global travels, and a lot of questions, no, knocking at their door. And at the same time, I know that there are a lot of product managers who need to keep up with the strong and bold and aggressive sellers, because sellers are always chasing the dollar sign, or what we fondly call quotas. But not to me and to our special guest today, the Mr. Einstein of Oracle NetSuite. So he was formerly from NetSuite, and I worked with him for, I think, more than a decade now. Even if we are separated, we're still, the very best of friends. So now let's welcome the cool, the collected, and eternally cute Mr. John Pavilion. Hi, John.
Hi, Ria. So very, very happy to see you again. It's been a while. So really, really excited and happy that you're creating this content and sharing your knowledge to future sales leaders. So this is a great initiative. Thanks for
Thank
having me
you.
also.
Thank you, Jan. And it's a pleasure because you're always top of mind, especially when, I'm being asked by a lot of, executives and aspiring sellers, what makes me very passionate about the product. And I always tell them that it's not also the product, but the product champion carrying it through and through with the sales team. So, how's life after, moving from Oracle NetSuite, being an international product director as an employee, and now you're an entrepreneur? What is your favorite change?
Yeah, so a lot of things have happened since we last worked together. So now I started a company with a couple of colleagues, and yeah, so it's very very different. So as you can probably imagine, being an entrepreneur is very very challenging, but also very fulfilling. So
Yeah.
the fulfillment that you get from building something from the ground up and like, launching a new product and working with a with smart people is always very fulfilling. So that's it's been great since we last worked together.
I know. I thought you would say it's less stress.
Well, no, I would. In
Oh,
fact, in some ways it's more stress, but in some ways it's actually it's more challenging, but it's definitely more fulfilling. Is what I would say.
okay. All right. Let's get to that fulfilling word. So, well, I think the audience would like to hear from you because, Miss Energy is really more of the, sales swagger, techniques, how you close and win deals. But I want to dive further on your 20 plus years experience as a product leader. What to you is a true definition of a sales rock star?
Right. So that's a good question. So I know as you can imagine, like you, I've been in the industry a long time. So I've worked with a lot of very good salespeople and also not so great salespeople. And what comes to me when I think about like what were those characteristics that separated the really good salespeople from the rest, from the mediocre, from the average.
Yeah.
One of them is of course their attitude, right? Of course they have to be customer centric. They have to think about you know th- the needs of the customer and how they can meet those needs, how they can help the customer. So they always have this mindset of customer centricity, of helping the customer. They always have this mindset of listening to the customer and trying to really understand what their needs are, both explicitly stated needs and the implicitly stated needs, the unarticulated needs. So some of the really good salespeople I've met are really good at that. And of course they're very, I know, they have high integrity. There's kind of a myth that as a salesperson you have to be you have to be like, I don't know, you have to misrepresent sometimes what you're selling to be able to close a deal, and you have to maybe
White
exaggerate
lies.
it. White lies, so to speak. But in fact, the really good salespeople I've met and I've worked with, they have high integrity. They tell it like it is. They're honest, and their customers can feel that, can sense that. And when the salesperson they're working with is honest and has high integrity, does what they say they will do, that goes a long way. And then maybe maybe with just one more thing, they
Yeah.
also have like they're very strategic, right? So they're not like short term oriented. Like they're not just about closing the next deal, but they're more strategic. They're looking at the medium and long term. They're looking at like having a strategic plan on how to win an account, how to grow that account, how to develop the relationship with that account, and continuing the relationship even after they've moved on to a different company, or they're selling a different product, because they have that, a good relationship with the customer, and they were, very strategic of how to develop that customer account and help them achieve their goals. They are able to maintain their relationship, and they can, they are able to build on their relationship and
Yeah,
close
like
more.
a family.
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. Yeah.
Yeah. I know you've seen those type of sellers, and people spot fakers generally. So the buyers are very quick to determine if you're fake or not
Right, right.
authentic.
Correct, correct.
So yeah, thanks John for highlighting those characteristics. And I would like to know if there are any deal breakers or a bad disposition that you might want to tell everybody, listening to us, those, young professionals and even seasoned veterans, sales. So what have you seen so far in terms of that particular attitude that you will say to the world that, hey guys, never do this.
Yeah. So obviously, like as a salesperson, or maybe not so obvious, but you have to be resilient, right? So you can't be, I mean, as a salesperson, obviously, especially for if you're coming into this profession, for the first time, obviously you'll get a lot of rejection, you'll get a lot of no's, and so you have to be resilient. You have to be able to kind of roll with the punches, quote unquote, roll with the punches, and kind of move on, and learn from that experience, and persevere on. So that's something that is very important. You can't have a negative attitude. So Ria, you're very good at this. You have a always positive attitude. You always see the silver lining,
Yeah.
no matter how difficult the situation. So you have to have that positive attitude. You can't be wallowing in negativity.
Negativity.
And then also, you have to be also, you have to have empathy, right? So you have to have empathy with your customer. And again, it goes down to, it comes back to what I said before, where you have you're customer centric. Part of that is having empathy for the customer, understanding where they're coming from, putting yourself in their shoes. And so that's very, very important. And what I kind of see as a pattern, and unfortunately, it's a frequent pattern,
Yeah.
from really bad salespeople, is they're pushing their own agenda, right? They're
Oh,
pushing their own needs first. They have to meet this quota, or they have to,
the
meet their own
fear.
KPIs or goals. But the really good salespeople, they're thinking about the needs of the customer first, right? So I think that's very, very important.
Yeah. Yeah, I can relate because I always say that, I'm a salesperson since, I think, since birth, since I was a kindergarten, till today. I always check myself if I'm fearful of not hitting a quota, then I mean the confidence and the conviction just goes to the dogs. I mean, that's the end of my good days in sales. So I always try to, like, try to look at a film or a favorite movie or read a book like Norman Vincent Peale, all these types of leadership book, and go to a party or talk to my best friend. I just need to, or
Yeah,
shop
you have to
or
recharge. You
shop.
have to,
I just
yeah,
need to, change the atmosphere as
right.
well and the ambiance,
Yeah.
so I can soak into positivity and not the fear
Yeah,
of
and
not
yeah,
hitting my quota and get terminated tomorrow.
Alright. Yeah, it's very important. Like sales is a very high stress, profession.
Yeah.
And so being able to recharge your batteries, being able to kind of replenish your come back to a positive attitude and go back to work and go to war again and go to war or go to the field again and kind of
Yeah.
have a positive attitude, a winning attitude. I think that's very important.
Yeah, and I think it goes to everybody, even if you're an accountant, your CPA, your product head. The stress will never go away. It's always there. So that's why that brings me to this question. You know, the dynamics and the success and the positivity that we had, 2015, until or even earlier, when you were there in NetSuite Philippines, I attribute it to a lot of positivity and people who are so good enough, not only brilliant, but they have a heart. Like, even our pre-sales heads, managers, those people are doing demo, you together with channels team and our amazing partners. Until now, we're like, good friends,
Yeah.
right? After a decade. So what is that attribute that you saw in the Oracle, the NetSuite Philippine team that you'll never forget until today? What is that?
Oh, you touched on it, right? Like people were very I guess were it wasn't just a transactional relationship. People cared about each other and cared about making sure everyone succeeded. There was again it was a very supportive community, I would say, right? So
Yeah.
it unlike other vendor partner ecosystems,
Channels, yep.
yeah, without naming names, very
Yeah.
competitive, very transactional, very bottom line oriented. The community we were able to create, and largely thanks to the leaders who kind of
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah. Put
by
the
design or by
culture.
accident created that, right? It was very good, very supportive of each other, very helpful. Everyone was willing to share, tips and techniques or strategies to succeed. And the people were, the partners were, and the people working at NetSuite at the time were, they also were very smart. So they knew their
Correct.
game.
Yeah,
That was a big
exactly.
thing, right? There was a high trust environment because you trusted people to do what to
No,
actually deliver what they say they will deliver, right? So that was
that's
created a lot of trust and created a lot of a great working relationships with everyone. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's why NetSuite is the number one cloud ERP. I think it only also transcends not only from Asia, Philippines, but even in Australia, America. I remember all the NetSuite America, US global approvers love to come to us, right? The Philippines. That's why we're always the host of NetSuite, worldwide. So, and having said that, is there anything that you think that I have done uniquely? Well, as Miss Energy today in the corporate environment, is there any attribute that you think that I need to carry through? With or without her in NetSuite, or now I'm with Ether Ramley as VP for Sales.
Right. So definitely your energy was a big your energy carried all compensated for our lack of energy in some days. So you had more than enough to carry the whole team. So that was I think your leadership, especially your positivity and creating that positive attitude, not only within your team but also outside of your team. Like with me, like we were not in the same team, but we were colleagues, right? But that helped a lot, right? That made a world of difference in getting people engaged, in getting people committed, and
There,
you were
yeah,
also not afraid to challenge people. Like you were also not afraid. I mean, it's not all just niceties and all
yeah,
that. And although you were very nice and you were very sweet with everyone, but you were also not afraid to challenge people. Like, hey, you committed this,
yep,
so what's going on, where is your commitment, like, so that was also very good. So that also goes to your kind of again integrity. So you had high integrity, so you challenge people to kind of
yeah.
match
Step
that.
up. Yeah, step
Step
up.
up,
Yeah, I
yeah.
always say that it's so hard when you are leading like product or you're leading and inspiring. It's all about inspiration because people wake up in the middle of the night or in the morning without the good mood, right? We all have our problems, or your mom has a cancer, or you're sick, or your husband, you and your husband are fighting, and here you are, NetSuite, chasing you for your new logos and commitment. And it's hard because if you are also slacking or lacking in that, what you said, integrity department, the goodness department as a person, it's so hard to jump into, their, even their personal lives, and chase them even on a weekend for a commitment, for a deal, and then you're not exercising that. So I think you touch on a very good, the integrity, your ethics, it has to be 24 hour by 7. What you're showing personally is what you do also professionally. So I think it's not also just me, but I think it's also the team, the composition of our team, like everybody, not to name names, there's a lot of the team whom we love until now that has also exercised that. So I miss that. I miss that tribe. I always want to replicate, and I believe you want to have that kind of days every day too. Right now that you're in
True.
Smile API, you
Right.
are the CIO CTO operations technology that you're doing for Smile API. So well, I think everybody's interested now from the cloud ERP, NetSuite, well established brand. Now, what is your mission for Smile API? Can you share that?
Sure. So, yeah. So what we're doing at Smile is different than what we were doing before. So at the time, right, when we were working together, we were kind of championing something new, right? This move to from a different type of computing architecture, right, from client server systems, and convincing people, okay, you should move that to the cloud because these are all the benefits and advantages. And it was very good. Like, we believed in the mission. We know that it helped organizations, it helped companies, be more efficient, drive productivity, etc. So all of that we already know. In fact, the industry has largely moved to the cloud, and so
Yeah.
by and large been very successful. So what we're doing now, so what I'm doing now at Smile is different. It's also mission. It's also being driven by this mission that we have, which is creating greater financial inclusion. So basically what that means is, particularly in countries like the Philippines, there are still a lot of people who have difficulty accessing like basic financial services. So things like getting a loan, or getting insurance, even having a bank account is very difficult. So what we are doing at Smile is we're to enable financial inclusion. We're building software infrastructure to allow people to share their data, right? To have more to have more agency over their data, to have full control over their data, specifically their employment and income data, and use that for their own benefit. So with their employment and income data, they can, with Smile's help, get easier access to loans, right? Because we're able to provide proof of employment, proof of income. So therefore, they can get, even though you know, maybe they would, a normal bank would be shy about giving, let's say, somebody without a bank account or without proof of employment a loan, like somebody like a gig worker or a freelancer.
Yeah.
With something like Smile, they can, because we can prove that they have income, even though they don't have like a traditional employer. We can help these people prove that they are actually a good credit risk, and they should also have
Nice.
be given access to financial services. So,
So you're
that
like
in a nutshell
solving
is,
insecurities, because
yeah,
right now when you're talking about it, what's going on in my mind is like you are fixing the insecurity because
correct,
there
correct.
are a lot of people right now, especially now pandemic recessions, right, that they are
Yeah,
not really part of, let's say, a Google or a Oracle
the
or
big
a
companies,
NetSuite,
right?
and but they're earning,
Yeah,
right? They have
right.
their own sources of income, or
Alternative sources of
incomes.
income. They're content
Yes, or
creators, they're
yeah,
freelancers, they're
correct. They
delivery
are
drivers. Yeah,
exactly, or just like this, right?
yeah,
I mean, people pay you because of your like Miss Energy. You conduct
you're
trainings in Thailand
right.
and all over the world, and it's I like it because you are solving like the world's problem, not only in the Philippines, Malaysia, Mexico. There's a lot of people who are insecure when it
Right,
comes to owning something, or just accessing a loan, and that you're not
right,
even talking of millions of loans. Sometimes it's also to help you bring your product to market. Be a
right,
small entrepreneur. I like it, John.
right.
And what to you is, so now, how many months have you been trying to promote this Smile API?
Yeah, so we started Smile about 2 years ago now. So we've
Two
been in our
years.
journey for 2 years. So it's been good. We've had some success. We've helped over by our estimate about more than 300,000 people now get easier access to loan.
Oh, in the
So we're in
Philippines.
the Philippines. So we're proving the model in the Philippines, but we
Oh,
wanna eventually expand across Southeast Asia.
especially Asia.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah.
And yeah, is there anything that you would like to do aside from this? Is there a product? You're talking about product. Is there a
Yeah,
product expansion that we need
right.
to know by next year?
Right. So there's a lot of things going on, right? So we're constantly building the product, we're enhancing it. And so one of the interesting things that well, not really discovered, but was reinforced when I went back into entrepreneurship. So before corporate, I had my own business, went to
I know,
corporate, then
yeah.
went back into
Entrepreneur.
entrepreneurship.
Yep.
But one of the things that I see now, is there's a lot of digital product companies hiring a lot of product managers, and they don't have experience like building products at scale, and how to develop and manage a product. So they don't have that experience, I guess. And unless and a lot of these are like small startups, like or even if it's a big
Even
company,
the big company, yeah.
we don't have that digital experience, like building a digital product and building a digital team, and all the challenges that go with that. There's frequently challenges around understanding the nuances of that. So one of the things that hopefully I can share as well is impart some of my knowledge and experience
Yeah.
around this area, like building a digital product from the ground up, scaling it, building a product to market, not just in the local market, but in other countries as well.
International, yeah. And have your master class. That's why I'm segueing to that Miss Energy is as you said, is a good platform, not only to teach, enable, empower young, aspiring, even seasoned veterans to close deals fast, or grow your new logos acquisition faster because of the proven techniques that I have, but also to make sure that I expose you. So I think for everybody who's listening to this fireside chat, um, stay tuned for John Pabellon's masterclass on product agility, product development, product design. And can you please just tease the audience on probably your top two or top three masterclass that we will launch after this session?
Yeah, we're planning to kind of have a like a workshop about product management, like building a
Yeah,
product and understanding how to build a product from the ground up, and building some of that foundational knowledge for like an aspiring product managers and even seasoned product managers to develop and build product at scale. So yeah,
that's yeah,
hopefully that.
that's very good. That's very good because, as I said, right, sales and product, they're a perfect blend. If you know the tips and the techniques of having that product leadership mindset, and at the same time, you have swagger sellers in the field, you'll never go wrong. All you can do and all you can expect is to soar higher. So, John, thank you so much for this incredible chat with you. Again, I miss all those years we were on the plane, we're having coffee, having brunch with our partners in NetSuite. But now this is a good time to reunite and have a different mission and put our passion into Miss Energy and Mr. Einstein masterclass very soon. So guys, stay tuned for the schedule of our masterclasses, and how to join and how to register to that very exciting world of masterclasses from sales and product experts. So John, thank you so much and have a great day everybody. Thank you, John. I'll see you soon.
Thank you very much, Ria.